Believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever done a mechanics truck tour on GCN, and I couldn't have picked a better team to actually start with in my opinion, because one of the mechanics here, Stephen, is one of the oldest guys I've known inside of the pro peloton of mechanics. So he's just given me a little rundown inside of the truck, and well, let's go and have a look. I'm so excited, come on. So in the back of the van here where I am, right, so the driver just sits the other side of here, there is a plethora of kit hanging around already. Yesterday the riders took part in the time trial, so I've got most of the time trial bikes here racked up on one side. Now, the actual mounts for the bikes, they can be positioned differently because they're attached on with these kind of wing nut, thumb nuts if you like, so easily a bike can be positioned higher or lower accordingly, and that's particularly important when you've got time trial bikes such as these, because obviously the handlebars on them are not the most practical things to work in among. And then we've got wheels galore both sides. I mean, the amount of wheels that can be kept in here, I'm actually totally unsure of. But if we look up here, we can start to see little cheeky wheels, like, well, tubeless wheels here. So some riders are using tubeless wheels. Victor Campenaerts, he was using a tubeless front wheel in the time trials. On the rear, still using a traditional tubular tyre, but maybe there's something coming in the future, who knows. It'd be great to see it really, because I do like a little bit of innovation here and there. On the right hand side, well, there's not that much in terms of bikes because most of them are outside either being washed or ridden. It is a rest day right now, so some of the riders are getting a little bit of extra sun on their legs and face and arms. There's a box there of spare frames and forks, so in the unfortunate case of a rider crashing and snapping one or cracking one, well, the mechanic that night can easily swap everything over. Now each and every bike, when it's racked up, has its own little compartment here for the rear wheel to sit in, as you can see, and then it's got a bungee strap as well that can simply go around and hold it in place. The reason being, when the mechanic's driving on to the next stage, they don't want a bike to risk popping out of that little compartment and then, well, not only damage the paintwork of that and the bike next to it, but also risk damaging the rear derailleur or rear derailleur hanger. Because if they get knocked even a fraction, the amount that can knock out the rest of the gears and the indexing is actually quite amazing. And above, we've got actually 24 separate power outlets. So remember, most of the team, they are using Campagnolo Record EPS, or Super Record EPS rather, and all the power is being provided internally inside of the actual racking system, then pops out through this conduit and then gives you these plug sockets that they plug those extensions into. If there's one thing that I've recently learned through rewiring my own home is you can never have enough power outputs. Now, let's have a look inside of this here. It looks like a trap door, and it's not. Let's see what's, I'll tell you what, it's quite heavy that. Let's move that bike out of the way. Inside of here, we've got all sorts of spare handlebars here. So we've got road bars, we've got time trial bars, we've got handlebar tape, we've got spare elbow pads. These spare handlebar tapes actually aren't the standard ones. We've got some green ones there, some white ones, and also some red ones. Now they're hidden away from the riders. It could be a little bit of bad luck really to start showing off things that could well be put onto your bike if you went into a leader's jersey at a race. Right, moving on then to another trapdoor. Let's have a look what's inside this one. Right, oh my word. So we've got Campagnolo spare parts. Let's see exactly what we've got. They all say on them actually, for team use only. It's probably because they're not in the really top fancy packaging. We've got cassettes, chain sets, more chain sets, cable sets, disc rotors, you name it, it's in here. Now, as sufficient as a mechanic's truck is, you never know how far away from an electricity supply you're going to be. So, for instance, they've got this 4-way extension cable here with a 100-metre roll of cable. So I guess they could be at the opposite end of a football pitch or a soccer pitch and still have power if they so be it. That is great. I wouldn't like to have that if it didn't have the windy wheel on it though. That'd be a bit of a nightmare, wouldn't it? Let's face it. We've also got chain set here just kicking around. That's probably been swapped off of a frame, and or possibly they don't have the exact ones ready and waiting to go on to another one. Inside of here, we've got a few old broken parts too. Of course, riders are putting so many kilometres onto their bikes, and well, sadly part of it's crashing. So sometimes things get broken and bent and destroyed here. We've got some old tubular tyres that they've obviously punctured, and just to keep a note really of probably how many they go through a year. They just cut them up into little sections, so they've got that. And also, so they don't put it into a bin. Believe me, I've seen it at bike races. I've seen mechanics put things in bins, and I've seen fans go and take it out of there. And obviously they don't want broken parts to be back on the road because they're unsafe for that. So inside of here, we've just got a few bits and pieces. There's a chainring and a saddle in there that's been sort of scuffed up, probably during a crash. It's come on. Yeah, you can see there, it's broken on the back of the rails. Now very often mechanics work very long into the night. In fact, they're the first up in the morning and the last to bed. So there's a speaker in here, so Stephen, he can work to some tunes whilst he's going away. We've also got a box here of old rags. They come in handy for everything and anything. You can't ever have enough of old rags. They're old towels actually. We've got loads of different cassettes here. We've even got some 11 to 32s here ready for the mountainous stages. Stephen just said to me, they're just lying around. Who has like record and such like super record 1132 cassettes just lying around? Bike teams, that's who. I love it. I absolutely love this. Right, we've also got a Lezyne track pump here, branded up Lotto Sodal 2. And get this, don't see these very often. This is specifically designed for disc wheels because of course you can't get into the valves on them, the standard pump. So by using one of these, you can get in there and put all that pressure in. Here, just got a box of bits because remember the mechanics, they're working outside, I'm working inside. And look at this, this is just loads of other spare parts again. We've got valves for the tubulars, we've got the adapters again for the for the disc wheels, headset spacers, bolts, washers, derailleur hangers, we've got end caps, we've got EPS bungs if you like for the frames, we've got spare bearings for the headsets, bar end plugs, they go missing always. They have to take everything with them. So in among all the spare parts as well, of course they need loads of spare tubular tyres because so far actually at the Giro it's been a little bit wet, I've got to say, and there has been a fair few punctures. So here we've got a load of Vittoria Corsa Speed tubulars. These are the more racy versions if you like because they have a slick centre part of the tread there, and on the side we've got that sort of really individual style tread pattern, so it's just those lines that run through. There's no chevrons or file pattern or anything. And up here we've got the Corsas with the standard tubular model there, so they've got that telltale line tread pattern, and naturally gum sidewalls. We love gum sidewalls. Take a little bit of extra maintenance, keep them nice and clean. Right, inside of here then, now you'll see how good my Dutch is. Right, pedaling, I reckon that's pedals. Yeah, so we've got inside of here a load of spare pedals. Got spacers for the pedals too. Look, Keo, grip. Side of here. Right, it's a heavy bit of kit here. We've got this is a cleat setup machine here. So it's like beautifully CNC machined and made. I might have to take some pictures of this. I fancy making one of these, turning one of these on my own lathe. Stirlint, I know what this one is. I've been through many a roll of this. Handlebar tape, there we are. It's lizard skins, the team are sponsored by, and it's this sort of black, white, greyish sort of camo appearance. Side of here, a load of spare SRMs, sensors, mounts, we've got all sorts. Right, opladers, right, that's charger, oplader. Know that, charging, EPS chargers for the Campagnolo group sets. All those, it's amazing how much all these chains weigh when you add them all together. We've got some chorus chains, got super record chains. There's a little heater tucked away, look at that. So remember, if you're working and you're up in the mountains, you're going to need to try and keep warm. So they've got that for that reason. Luckily today the sun's shining, they're outside working. Bottle cages, bidon holders, so tacks, they're supplied by them, carbon models here. In here we've got a load of spare tyres, look at that. Yeah, tubeless tyres, some of the riders are using them. We've also got some training tyres there too, so the riders going out for a ride on the rest day. We've got some little mini pumps. Oops, what's this, talcum powder. They don't shower in here, that just helps sometimes to put a difficult inner tube or tyre onto a rim. Yeah, if you've never tried it, try it, it works. All right, this is where all the business takes place really, the mechanic's workbench. Probably not as big as what you'd like, but well, let's face it is in the back of a truck, remember? So straight up, we got some spare chain rings just kicking about here and there. Let's start in this cupboard down here. Let's see what we can find. Right, first up, we've got a grinding wheel. So you'll be amazed at how often things like this are actually used, believe it or not. We've got one of those just in there. We've also got some Campagnolo bits. What's this? A bleed kit for her disc brakes. We've also got, what's this? looks to me like a hot air gun. Now, the only possible reason I could think of one of these is not to warm up riders' cold fingers or anything, it's to heat shrink tubing. So remember, if you're using EPS cables with standard brake cables, you want to try and get them nice and close together so they don't get snagged or anything. Put some heat shrink over it, use that, and Bob's your uncle. It shrinks it. Box of Vittoria tubular glue, plenty of tins of that. I don't miss gluing tubular tyres, I'll tell you that for something. What else have we got? All right, something else from worked here. We've got a couple of big old tools by the. Hopefully that's all right. Right, let's see what we've got inside of here. Cordless drill. Let's see what we got. An angle grinder. Not sure. It's pretty well used. I don't know what you're going to be using that for. Maybe I've just spotted a few other bits as well in the back. We've got some. Where is it? I just saw it. Some bike wipes there from Sedal, one of the team sponsors, of course. You can wipe your hands nice and clean. And that, what I knocked over, some Vittoria pit stop TNT. So some latex sealant that's going to go inside those tubeless tyres to prevent any punctures. A handy little measuring guide on there too, so you can simply fill up that reservoir and pour it in. Right, let's see what's in these drawers then. I have to hold up the vice handle. First up, let's see, what's this? Name stickers, Adam Hansen. Oh my word, this is like all, again, more and more little spare parts. So brake pads, we've got bolts, we've got disc rotor bolts, we've got everything you could imagine. All the spacers and bearings and washers, more derailleur hangers, spare quick releases, bottom bracket cups there. These are Seabear ones, that's one of the team sponsors. Spare derailleur pulley wheels, jockey wheels, some grease there so you can inject them into the bearings themselves, valves, end caps. Drawer number 5, spare seat posts and stems, Super Leggera, look at that, Super Zero even, oh nice, lovely bits of kit. And finally, let's see what we've got in here. Torque wrench from Wirt. Remember, these days everything has a torque setting on it, so that's ultra important. We've got a big old hammer here as well, that's from Wirt. Yeah, plastic mallet, lovely. I'm not sure what this would be for. I suppose it's just knocking out bearings here and there. That end wouldn't get much use, I don't imagine. In case you get stuck in some snow, I suppose. Nearly at the end now, we've got drawers here full of disc brake parts, deader handlebar stem parts, all sorts specific for these models of bikes they've got. What's this? Snap-on. That'll be for the through axles. There's a couple of riders here using disc brakes, so it's nice and quick to do that. Nice little bit of snap-on kit there. Some Panini sticker albums there. Get my hands on one of those in a minute. And finally, up here, we've got all these chain rings. So of course they match up with other models. So because there's shifting ramps and pins, everything like that, ideally they need to be matched up. They do work, but in the best case scenario, you want to match them up perfectly. I've just found out actually as well that this truck can hold about 45 bikes, and it used to hold 45 pairs of wheels, but these days it holds even more. So it fits probably about 120 pairs of wheels these days, which is enough, I reckon, to get them through this Giro d'Italia. So there we are, the Lotto Sedal Mechanics Truck Tour. I would love to spend more time in here. In fact, my OCD just wants to pick off this old tubular glue on this wheel. But all of that aside, a huge thanks to the squad for letting me check it out because, well, let's face it, they're at work, aren't they, right now? And I've been interrupting them. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and share it with your friends. And let me know what was your favourite bit of the truck tour down there in the comments section below. Don't forget as well to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. We've got a whole heap of goodies for you. And also, for 2 more great videos, how about clicking just down here and, well, just on here. It's nice and true, that.